There are moments when life feels like a constant effort to keep everything together. We make plans, set goals, and convince ourselves that if we can manage every detail, we can prevent pain, failure, or uncertainty. But deep down we sense the truth. Control is an illusion. The tighter we hold on, the more life resists, like trying to hold water in the palm of your hand. The harder you squeeze, the faster it slips away. Real peace doesn't come from managing everything. It begins when we stop forcing life to fit our expectations and instead allow it to flow naturally. In this video, we'll journey into that sacred art, the art of letting go. A path not guided by fear or resistance, but by trust, awareness, and presence. In today's fast-paced world, the urge to control everything has become second nature. We want to predict the future, secure our relationships, and make sure everything stays in its proper place. We crave certainty, in our careers, in our homes, even in our own emotions. But life does not bend to our plans. A single phone call, an unexpected turn, or a sudden shift can unravel everything we thought was stable. And when our happiness depends on everything going according to plan, even a small change can leave us anxious or broken. From a Buddhist perspective, this need to control is born from attachment, the tendency to cling to outcomes, to identities, to how we think things should be. We tell ourselves, if things go this way, I'll be happy. If they don't, I'll suffer. But the Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering. When we cling to fixed ideas of how life should unfold, we close our eyes to the beauty and wisdom of how it actually does. Our attempts to control become resistance to change, to uncertainty, to the mysterious rhythm of existence itself. Imagine standing in a flowing river. You cup your hands tightly, trying to hold the water still, but it slips away no matter how strong your grip. Now imagine opening your palms, relaxing your body, and simply allowing the river to flow through. You're still in the same current, but now you move with it, not against it. This is the essence of letting go. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you stop acting. It means you release the need to control every outcome and trust that life has its own intelligence. Sometimes, what we call losing control is actually the beginning of being set free. In Taoist philosophy, there is a concept called wu-wei, which means effortless action or non-forcing. It points to a way of living in harmony with the natural order, rather than struggling against it. This same wisdom is echoed in Buddhism, where non-attachment and mindful presence lead to inner peace. To let go doesn't mean to withdraw or become indifferent. It means acting with clarity, not desperation. It means doing what you can with sincerity and awareness, but without clinging to what must happen. When we stop forcing, life starts flowing. When we stop resisting, peace quietly returns. And when we finally let go of control, we discover, perhaps for the first time, that life has always been guiding us exactly where we need to be. So as you move through your day, remember this: you don't have to hold everything together. You don't have to fight the current. Breathe, trust, and allow life to unfold, moment by moment, just as it's meant to. That is where true freedom begins. The truth that real peace begins, not when we control life, but when we allow it to unfold. There's a certain exhaustion that comes from trying to hold everything together. We plan our lives down to the smallest detail. We calculate, we predict. We hope that if we can stay one step ahead, we can avoid pain, loss, and disappointment. But life has its own rhythm, one that can't be managed, manipulated, or contained. Control, no matter how convincing it feels, is only an illusion. The tighter we grip, the more life slips away, like trying to hold water in a closed fist. The harder you try, the faster it escapes. But when we soften our hands, when we open to the flow, the water moves effortlessly through us, and somehow we're no longer struggling against it. We're flowing with it. That is the art of letting go. It is not defeat. It is not giving up. It is awakening to a deeper intelligence, the wisdom of life itself. The illusion of control in our modern world, the need to control, has become almost sacred. We're taught to chase, to plan, to manage every outcome. We're told success is built on certainty, on knowing where you're going, how you'll get there, and how you'll stay safe along the way. But the truth is, life does not consult our plans. A single event, a phone call, a loss, a sudden change, can alter everything in a heartbeat. And when our happiness depends on life following our script, we suffer every time it doesn't. We become anxious, frustrated, and lost, not because life has failed us, but because we've forgotten that life was never meant to be under our control. From the lens of Buddhist philosophy, this desire for control is born from attachment, the inner habit of clinging to what we want and resisting what we fear. We attach to outcomes, relationships, identities, and expectations. We believe that if things go a certain way, we'll finally be happy. But as the Buddha taught, attachment is the root of suffering. When we demand that life move only according to our will, we fight against the natural flow of existence. And in that resistance, we lose our peace. Letting go, then, is not about losing control. It is about remembering that we never truly had it in the first place. The freedom of letting go. Imagine standing in a river, trying to hold the current still. You push against it, but it pushes back stronger than you. You strain, and the more you resist, the more tired you become. Then one moment you stop. You release the struggle. You lift your feet and allow yourself to be carried. And suddenly what once felt like chaos becomes effortless motion. That is the feeling of surrender, not of giving up, but of coming into alignment. You're no longer fighting the current. You are part of it. Letting go does not mean apathy. It doesn't mean we stop caring or stop trying. It means we act with awareness, not fear. It means we take each step with trust rather than tension. It means we release our desperate need to control the outcome and open ourselves to what life might be trying to teach us. Sometimes, what feels like falling apart is simply life rearranging itself for our awakening. Sometimes losing control is the very doorway to freedom. In Taoist philosophy, there is a concept known as Wu Wei, meaning effortless action or non-forcing. It invites us to live in alignment with the natural flow of things, to act when action is needed, and to rest when it is time to rest. It's not about doing nothing, it's about doing what's needed without resistance. When we stop fighting against the way things are, our energy returns, clarity emerges, and what once felt impossible begins to move with surprising ease. This idea is deeply connected to Buddhist wisdom. Non-attachment and mindful presence don't make us passive, they make us awake. They allow us to act without being consumed by fear, to love without trying to possess, and to live without constantly needing to control. So ask yourself, where are you holding on too tightly? What are you afraid will happen if you let go? And what if letting go doesn't mean losing, but finally allowing life to move through you freely, naturally, beautifully? Because when we stop grasping, life doesn't fall apart, it begins to bloom. When we stop resisting, peace quietly returns. And when we trust the unfolding, we begin to see that life was never against us. It was always guiding us toward awakening. You don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to fight the current. Just breathe, trust, and flow. That is where true peace is found. Not in control, but in surrender. Not in holding on, but in letting go. The energy of surrender, when you release your need to control, you don't become powerless. You become powerful in a different way. Your energy is no longer wasted in resistance. Your heart no longer tightens around fear. You begin to move from a space of trust, not tension. You begin to see that life is intelligent, that it unfolds with perfect timing, even when your mind cannot yet understand it. Sometimes what looks like loss is simply life clearing the path. Sometimes what feels like chaos is the birth of new order. And sometimes losing control is not a breakdown, it's a breakthrough. Returning to presence, when we stop fighting the current, we discover the stillness beneath the surface. That stillness has always been there, quiet, unmoving, untouched by circumstance. That stillness is who you truly are. It is the awareness beneath all your thoughts, the calm beneath the storm. Letting go is not something you do. It's something you allow. It's remembering that you are the sky, and every thought, every emotion, every storm is just passing weather. When you live from this space, you no longer need to control everything. You begin to trust that whatever comes, you can meet it with grace. So as you move through your life, when things don't go as planned, when the ground beneath you shifts, remember, you were never meant to control the river. You were meant to flow with it. Let go of what no longer serves you. Release the tension of needing to know. Breathe deeply and trust the unfolding, because life in its infinite wisdom knows exactly what it's doing. And when you stop resisting, you'll finally feel the peace that was always waiting beneath the surface. May you find comfort in the mystery, strength in the surrender, and freedom in the flow of life itself. That is where true peace is found. Not in control, but in surrender. Not in holding on, but in letting go.